Hey guys, welcome back to the Piston show. I'm on the way to pick up the new Mercedes-Benz EQA. It's basically a fully electrified version of the GLA, so to speak. But I have a confession to make though. I'm a non-believer in electric cars. That I said it, I'm a non-believer. Simply because there are a couple of parameters that I think electric cars still do not satisfy. You see, I spend a lot of time on the road. I spend a lot of time traveling between cities, traveling from KL to Ipoh to Penang to Johor. I just spend a lot of time on the road. And for my needs, an electric car is just not, it just does not fulfill a lot of things. On the flip side though, in an urban environment, I would fully agree that an electric car is the way to go. Unless you live in a condo If you live in a condo, then it's just very difficult to, unless your condo has charging ports, which a lot of condos don't have yet. So there you go. So I'm going to be spending time with the Mercedes-Benz EQA over the weekend, going through my day-to-day life. I'm here with John. After this, we have a couple of meetings to go to. A lot of time on the road again. So yeah, let's see how it goes, and let's see whether it converts me or not. Now let's talk a little bit about the design. Well, the EQA is basically the electrified version of the GLA. So it's no surprise then that they're both identical, nearly identical in design. However, there are some key differences though, such as the front grille, or rather the lack of it. Usually with an internal combustion engine, you have an open front grille for air, the radiators at the front, and you need air to be channeled into the engine to keep things cool and such. But because the EQA doesn't have an engine, so it doesn't really need an open grille. So it has that one fancy mega chunk of plastic. It definitely feels like it. And at the back, I really like the LED strip that connects both the left and right brake lights, so that's really cool as well. And of course there's no tailpipes because again, no internal combustion engine. And other than that though, it also has low drag wheels. So these wheels are meant to enhance the aerodynamic flow around the car. Other than that though, there's not much else. So in terms of design, it's actually not bad looking if you ask me. It looks quite handsome, and in this sort of bronze color, it's a love it or hate it color, isn't it? So it's day 2 of driving the Mercedes-Benz EQA. Yesterday was a good day. After we picked up the car from the Mercedes-Benz headquarters in Bukit Jalil, we headed to Balakong for a couple of meetings, and after that to Cheras, ran around Bangsa, did some work, went back home, picked up the family, took them to Ikano to get a couple of things. The usual running around, meetings, family obligations and such. And today, I'm left with a range of about 249 kilometers. And let me see what's my state of battery. And I'm left with 60%. So this 60% of battery, based on my current driving style, gives me a range of about 249 kilometers. But you know what? I'm already experiencing range anxiety, even though I only have to give this car back on Monday, and I do think that I might have enough charge. But knowing that I only have 249 kilometers doesn't give me a lot of options for, if I suddenly want to just take a drive with my son to Port Dickson, for example, it doesn't give me that flexibility. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to Cycle and Carriage in Mutiara Damansara for a quick charge. It's an AC charger, unfortunately, so I might have to hang around for a bit, but I'm at 60%, now I'm at 59% battery state, so maybe perhaps not too long. That's the other thing that I found out the hard way yesterday when when I picked up the car, I realized that I do not have a subscription card for the usual Jom charge and such, because I don't own an EV. So unfortunately that put a dent in my plans to go to Ipoh, and and that also means that I'm kind of stuck to the city. But that's just me, right? If you're going to buy this car or any other EV, you probably have a wall socket and a subscription to charging facilities, but I don't. And the other thing that I thought that the car came with was a wall charger, not a wall charger, but a regular 3-pin socket. So I asked Mercedes, and they said, well, if you're going to already buy the EQA, they're just going to assume that you already have a wall socket, or you're going to install a wall socket. So you don't get wall charger, a regular 3-pin charger, 3-pin plug. You only get a power cable. So yeah, another dent in my plans, but that's all right. Again, I'm not an EV owner. Right now we're about 3 minutes away from Cycle and Carriage, and we should be good to go in about an hour. Let's see. Alright guys, so plugged in, ready, and it's already charging. 59% now, so we're gonna hang around, have a cup of coffee at Cycle and Carriage, see, hopefully they entertain us, and yeah, let's see how long it takes, and we should be good to go. Hopefully it doesn't take too long lah. Let's go. You know, the one good thing about charging your car at a Cycle and Carriage or a Hub-Sing Star is that while you're waiting, you have a comfortable waiting lounge, you have plenty of food and drinks to just make yourself comfortable while your car is charging. You can even do your work here, so it doesn't matter whether you have a wall box at home or not. As long as you're close to a Hub-Sing Star, Cycle and Carriage, I think you should be alright. I'll take you for a walk around and check out the other things as well. This, for me, is the ultimate Mercedes. It's like my personal favorite Mercedes-Benz. The GLE 450 4MATIC. It can do no wrong. For me personally, it checks all the boxes. It has power, it has space, it's comfortable, it's good looking. What else could you want in a car? The GLE 450 has it all. Drove this in Sepang, haven't driven it on real roads yet. Mercedes-Benz, hook me up, hook me up. Nice. So it's been about an hour. Let's go see the state of charge. Jom. So 1 hour of charging has brought me up to 74%. And if I still have another 1.5 hours to kill, I can go up to 100%. So basically, in 1 hour, in a regular AC charger, it's not a fast charging DC charger, yeah guys? I basically got 5% in 1 hour because we were, 15%. We were at 59% earlier when we got here. So it's not so bad lah. I think I should be alright for, let's see, it should get me to, it gives me a range of about 312 kilometers, which should be alright. It should last me until Monday. And if it doesn't, well, I can always come back here. So we're gonna make a move, guys. Let's unplug. Unplugging. This is cool. Watch this. Unplug from here. And it's done. So this is the cool thing about driving an electric car. There's basically no sound whatsoever. That's quite bizarre. And so guys, if there's a lesson to be learned here, is that even though the EQA is a undoubtedly nice car, but what would make it better is a fast charging DC charger at home. So that's quite important, because as you saw, in 1 hour we got about 15% of charge. However, if you have a fast charging DC charger at home, in just 45 minutes it can take you from 0 to 80%, 10 to 80%, sorry. Which is perfect, which makes this car absolutely usable in the real world. Except for when you have to go to Penang and such, but that's a different story. Perhaps I might ask this car again to explore the viability of going from town to town in a separate video. But right now we are confined to an urban environment, and it's just super nice. 0 to 100 in a little over 8 seconds. Top speed, it maxes out at about 160 kilometers per hour. So this is the thing about electric cars, right? They have killer acceleration, but they sort of run out of steam quite fast. Run out of power, actually. Run out of electricity quite fast, if I can say that. The other thing to know is that the EQA actually has electric motors on the front axle only. Okay, it doesn't have an electric motor at the back, so that makes it basically a front-wheel drive. And the batteries are placed underneath the passenger cell, so basically the back seats are placed slightly higher than that of a regular GLA. So yeah, but in terms of driving wise, it's quite nice, it's quite fun. Can't hear anything, can go about your daily business. If your day-to-day life is confined to an urban environment, you're just going to be running around KL, you don't get out of town much, or perhaps you have another car to be able to do that, then an electric car like the EQA makes a lot of sense. So I'll bring you more as we go about driving the EQA here in KL. As far as the interior is concerned, current Mercedes-Benz owners will find it very familiar. It's because it's the same interior as the likes of the Mercedes-Benz GLA. Everything is similar. Okay, I really like this wood trimming over here, and I really like how it's actually texturized. You can actually feel it in your fingertips. The ambient lighting, well, Mercedes-Benz has become known for the ambient lighting, and it actually changes color as you drive. Of course, now it's too bright to actually see it, but as you go about your business, especially at night, it's really cool because it changes color and such. It's really nice. Not a fan of the piano black, but I really love the air conditioning dials. This is a throwback, basically. I've said it before, throwback to how Mercedes-Benzes from the 70s and 80s used to be like, and just very cool. This is how you turn it off, this is how you turn it on. Yeah, and everything feels high quality, everything feels really nice. There's a heads-up display as well. It gives me the speed, yeah, and I can basically customize whatever I want it to tell me. And in terms of refinement, because Mercedes-Benz cars are generally quite refined, so in that sense, It's a very nice, refined place to be, and security guards. So it's generally a very nice place to be in. You know, you hardly hear anything. However, at higher speeds, perhaps at over 100 kilometers per hour, you do get some tire noises coming back into the cabin, as well as wind noises as well. Other than that, spaciousness, beautiful. It's a very nice, spacious engine, spacious interior. I do want to speak about the front of the car, hence why I said engine, although there's no engine. But the front part of the car is where the electric motor is placed. So you do not get what you call a frunk. Frunk is basically a front trunk, right? So unfortunately, you don't get that lah. The boot space too is 100 liters smaller than that of a regular GLA, even though the underpinnings of both cars are the same. So that's a bit unfortunate, but 100 liters really doesn't make a lot of difference lah. Besides that, it's a really nice car to drive. That's what I can tell you. It's easy to drive. Range anxiety aside, that having a home charging port, a wall charger at home, or being close to a Hub-Sync Star or a cycle and carriage should be able to fix that. But other than that, it's a nice place to be in. The suede finishing everywhere. You get suede everywhere, especially on the sides, around the seats. You get suede finishing everything. It's awesome. Oh yeah, another thing to point out is you actually also get a Burmeister sound system, which means the audio in this thing sounds really good. But I'm not going to demonstrate that now. So the final day, the final couple of minutes with the Mercedes-Benz EQA. Been driving this car since Friday. It's Monday today, and it's been a pleasant experience. Has it transformed, changed my opinion about electric cars? Somewhat, but not entirely. But let's talk about the car itself. Of course, as I said many times in this video already, it's basically the electrified version of the GLA. That's the simplest way to put it. And this is a CBU unit, so it actually somewhat feels better. I really like the wood trimming. I really like the trimming of the interior. That's really very cool. Feels very high quality as well, even though it's basically the same as the petrol-powered, locally assembled GLA. In terms of power delivery, it still will shove you back into your seat. It's powered. It actually has a 420 kilowatt lithium-ion battery that can store a charge of up to 66 kilowatts per hour, and it produces about 188 PS and 375 Newton meters of torque. Does the 0 to 100 in a little under 9 seconds. Yeah, it's enough acceleration for me to just flow through traffic. Of course, it's not like completely ballistic, which is what we have come to expect of electric cars. But this is a very nice, very well-rounded, urban, electric, everyday kind of machine. Yeah. But it's not cheap though. At about 285,000 ringgit, about 280,000 ringgit. I think there are better electric cars out there. There are cheaper electric cars out there that can just basically do whatever the EQA can do, and perhaps even more. But this is ultimately a Mercedes-Benz. And over the weekend, wherever we were going, wherever I was driving and such, you can notice people were cramming their necks to take a look at the EQA, because you don't see the EQA very often on the roads, right? So people are like, wow, what is that? Yeah. But then you actually have to be in the know. Like, you actually have to know what you're looking at to actually admire it. And I'm guessing that everybody that took a look at it actually admired it. So in terms of charging, the onboard charger takes a little under 6 hours, 5.5 hours to fully charge the car. Where else, if you have a DC charger, it takes about 45 minutes. And that's decent lah. Unfortunately, I didn't have an AC charger or a DC charger. I don't have, of course, there are wall sockets at home, but when you buy the when you buy the EQA, they don't give you a wall socket. They just give you the power cables, which is basically you need a wall socket lah, simply put, which is cost more money, 10,000-15,000 ringgit, I think, about there. And so you need to spend more money to fix a charger at home, which is a bit unfortunate. So, or you could do what I just do, go to a Hapsing Star or Cycle and Carriage and charge your EQA there for free. Other than that though, of course, there are other subscription models, charging subscription models out there that let you charge at shopping malls and such lah. So, of course, there are other options out there for you to charge. So what about my opinion of electric cars? Has it changed? No, it hasn't. I still think they're brilliant urban cars. Like, Mercedes says that I'll get a range of about 427 kilometers on a full charge. But when I picked up the car on Friday, it was fully charged, 100%. I got a range. The computer was telling me that I have a range of about 385 kilometers. But within 10 minutes, guys, it went down to about 360 kilometers. Simply because the topography of the roads, how your driving style, whether you're driving uphill, downhill, yada yada yada, all of that matters in an electric car. When my wife drove this car, she was driving it like she was driving an internal combustion engine, just flooring it wherever she was going and such. I was like, no, you really got to feather the throttle, let it coast a bit whenever you can, so you can send some charge back to the batteries, let it recharge. This is regenerative braking, regenerative charging, so you can do all of that. But yeah, all in all, fantastic day-to-day urban machine. I would buy it if I had some extra cash lying around and if I wanted an electrified car. Of course, the Hyundai Ioniq, the Mini electric, and there are a number of other electric cars out there that seem like a better buy. Like I said though, none of those are Mercedes-Benzes. And as usual, if you like what you see here today, do consider subscribing. I'm Kashi Dillon, and I just told you about the Mercedes-Benz EQA.